is having its own immigration debate. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's open immigration policies are causing problems across that nation. Trudeau spoke today about Canada's struggles with policing its southern border. Watch this.
Canadians remain incredibly positive about immigration. There is a large number of irregular arrivals who are crossing the border into Canada right now.
From the U.S.
From the U.S.
Yep.
But we are processing them in a responsible, rigorous way that is reassuring to Canadians. One of the precious things about Canada is that Canadians are positively inclined towards immigration and refugees. Not letting it fall into the politics of fear or division or identity is really important.
Don't worry, the irregular arrivals are being processed. How long before irregular arrivals would be a term that's official here? Probably not long. Stephen Ledrew is a former president of Trudeau's Liberal Party, and he joins us tonight. Stephen, thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Tucker.
So it turns out that Canadian tolerance for immigration is not infinite, it looks like.
Well, it's not infinite, but I mean, there's a problem with this process. And the Prime Minister is talking the woo-woo stuff about the politics of division and the politics of identity. I mean, that stuff's passé. Canadians generally do support immigration. We've got an empty country up here. But we shouldn't have immigrants coming to this country just going through some back alley from the United States into Quebec and then getting picked off by the RCMP and taken to somewhere else for processing. I mean, that's not a way to arrive in any country. Ellis Island was not like that for the United States. So, I mean, Trudeau is wrong when he's saying, well, it's business as usual, we're just processing them. I mean, we've got to do something about this. No one's talking about building a wall, but what is happening is wrong, even though Canadians, yes, we should take a lot more immigrants.
Yeah, and then process them. But isn't it racist? Isn't it racist, however, to tell people they can't come to your country whenever they want and go on welfare?
Well, no, I don't think it's racist at all. I think most of those people that are coming to Canada, many of them are already in the United States. They're coming to Canada because they like Canada more than the United States. The United States is no longer such a welcome beaconing place in the world for the smartest and the brightest, and they're coming to Canada. So that's great for Canada. But as far as coming across some back alley and there's some lady in Vermont who knits them mitts and sends them across a path, I mean, that's degrading, and it should be stopped. No
degrading
wall, but it should be stopped.
Degrading to whom? Degrading to Canadians or degrading to immigrants?
Well, to both. To an immigrant to be walking in a snowdrift across to Canada and then getting arrested and picked off, that's degrading. We should have borders. We are a country. But Tucker, I think that, you know, as I said, if people from the United States want to come and live in Canada for whatever reason, we aren't talking about gang members. We're not talking about what you were just talking about with your first two guests. We're talking about people who just want a better place to live.
But
they
why
like
not
Canada or they want... Go ahead.
I mean, so you're saying that Canada ought to be able to determine who comes in and who doesn't? Should you be able to just let impressive people in and then non-impressive people, gang members, rapists, do you think you're allowed to keep them out?
There's a whole lot of room, Tucker, between impressive people who are, you know, brain surgeons and gang members. There are people who just want to come and have a better life for themselves and for their children. And so you have to look at, there's a certain number of, if you will, skilled immigrants that you want to attract. And then there are also a certain number of refugees that for, you know, if you will, the good of the world you attract, just like the United States does.
Of course, but Canada gets to, I guess the only point is you can determine the mix as you like, but Canada gets to make that decision. You decide who comes in and who doesn't come in.
Oh, absolutely. Whether they are skilled laborers, skilled technicians, or whether they are, as I said, you know, refugees looking for a safe place without bullets flying around their head. But you know what? Don't make no mistake. I mean, we are, even though Trudeau is talking about we're welcoming for immigrants, and he was right on that point, I mean, no one is here saying that, you know, we're going to bring in all the gang members that the United States doesn't kick out. I mean, that is simply not going to happen in Canada.
We're not kicking out many gang members, but it may surprise you to learn the Canadian immigration policy, the consensus on immigration is much more restrictive, conservative, we would say, than it is in the United States. Is that a surprising development?
Well, no. I think that we are being, excuse me, we are being more particular about it than we were in the past. We are still allowing a huge number of refugees here, but you know, the city mayors, John Tory, the mayor of the city of Toronto, gave a speech 2 weeks ago saying, you know what, if you're busing all these people from Quebec down to Toronto, you better give us some money to help settle them, help put their kids in school, and help them come along. But Canada is becoming a beacon. In the last century, Tucker, you well know as a student of history, they came from around the world. Now they're coming to Canada. I think, in fact, Tucker, that you should have a movement to give us the Statue of Liberty. We'll move it to Toronto.
Maybe we will. Though, of course, the Statue of Liberty is in our Constitution, as you may have heard. Stephen, thank you. Great to see you.
Good chatting as always.
Democrats are embracing full-blown extremism on the question of immigration. They're defending MS-13. You'd think Republicans would run on that, but no. A lot of them are embracing amnesty. Weird. One of those joins us next.